Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a dig. It is the all-time home run list.
Trainer right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them? Touchdown Titans! There are no flags on the field! It's a miracle! Tennessee has pulled a miracle!
My Sports Radio. And here's your host, John Intel.
What is going on? Welcome. It is July 8th, a Wednesday. I'm sure another ridiculous day that we celebrate. It's probably Shorts Day or something along those lines. You're here listening on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio, with your boy, John Intel, and I got a special guest with me today. I got a good friend of mine, James Brown Jr., joining us today for some hot topics. James, what is going on, brother? How we doing?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Cautiously optimistic. James, we have a lot to talk about. We have some hot topics we're getting into. You and I we've dived deep into some serious topics together over the years. Many years. Little backstory. I used to work for James in a retail establishment. So he was once my boss. Yes, guys, I know. It's crazy. The black guy was the white guy's boss. Yes, you heard it here first on My Sports Radio. But just genuinely a good guy, a good man, a good friend, somebody I consider family. So thank you, brother, for joining me, dude. I really, really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
I wanted to talk about Patrick Mahomes, $500 million contract. I wanted to talk about baseball possibly coming back, but Mike Trout not playing. That would be like, baseball coming back and Ken Griffey Jr. being like, dude, I'm out. Which there's no shot I'm watching baseball back in the day if like my favorite baseball player is not playing, right? So I wanted to dive into that. But guys and girls, I'm letting you know right now that today there will be a very, very sensitive subject being talked about. It will involve race. It will involve politics. It will involve religion, and we are tying it into sports because this is a sports show. And there are definitely two very qualified people to talk about it. So if you are sensitive and don't have the wherewithal to digest what we're saying to you, this is not the conversation to listen to. This is not the radio station currently between the hours of 4 and 6 to listen to today, because we're going to be passionate. We're going to clarify what we say. We're going to speak with dignity. We're going to speak with morals and values, which we both have. And that's how this is going to go. So welcome. I see a few people here. Vin, what's going on, buddy? Anthony, what's going on? My grandmother is here. Ziva, how are you? Darling, as always great to see my grandmother tuning in. I laugh and I joke, but my grandmother knows not one iota of sports. But you know what she does? This is a great grandmother. She tunes in specifically to critique me after the show. Is that not great?
That's great.
I know. So I get the phone call, and if the show was she lets me know the show was and if the show was good, she tells me it's good. You need that. You need that sort of transparency. It can't all be great, right? So today, guys and girls, during the show, do me a favor. Anytime we're talking about something, anytime we dive into a topic, you want to ask James and I a question, the number is 609-807-2492. Absolutely at any time. You can ask any of us a question, and we will definitely be getting into it. Is there a okay, thought we had I was looking at something. I got confused for a second there. I thought we had a phone call ready. I was like, oh my God, we haven't even started talking. So I'm going to ask you a question, James. We're going to start here, bro, and we're going to end somewhere here. So first and foremost, what would you do at $500 million playing football? What would you do, bro? Tell me.
I'd invest in other businesses. I'd keep that revenue stream coming. You know, the smart guys get it, and they know that this is not something they'd be doing forever, and they invest. You know, I'd invest in businesses. I'd invest in my community. That's what I would do with that money.
I like it. I mean, you can't tell me you wouldn't buy an Aston Martin. I mean, come on, bro.
One or two.
Oh, one or two.
One or two,
All right. Matching. Do we just become best friends?
Yep.
So it's listen, me $500 million. I mean, James hit the nail on the head. A lot of times when I have some sort of financial question, this is the guy that I call anyway. But I'm investing for sure. The rich stay rich because their money works for them, right? So they don't have to do very much with it. They just invest, and there's smart people in the background doing whatever it is that the hell they do with their money, and they make them more money. They don't ask questions. They get dividends. They smile. They buy houses. They buy yachts. Oh, wait, I'm talking about Jerry Jones. Oh, my fault. A lot of plastic surgery. Sorry, I'm talking about Jerry Jones. My fault, guys. I digress. So, yeah, I would have to buy an Aston Martin. I think I'd buy a cul-de-sac somewhere with a street name after probably me. And I'd buy houses for all my friends and loved ones on the street. And I'd put a barbecue pit right in the middle of it. And I would throw one hell of a block party every week, bro. It would be, I mean, dude, I'd hang watermelon up in the garage. We'd slice it with ninja swords. Dude, it'd be a riot, man. So that is the Jonathan Entel dream. Smashing pumpkins and watermelons, mansions on cul-de-sacs, and an Aston Martin.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Listen, Patrick Mahomes gets a $500,000 contract, $450 million, 10 years, tons of guarantees. Bro, it's almost virtually all guaranteed at some sort of point in time. Over $500 million after incentives, right? After 5 years, we know this. Guys and girls, don't be outraged. I'm tired of people saying he gets 19% of the salary cap. Peeps, hear me out. Every year the NFL increases revenue 13%. The NFL prints money. The government can't, but the NFL does. They print money. So when the salary cap increases 13%, when Patrick Mahomes gets that contract, you know what happens 5 years later? He's underpaid again, guys. And he's going to get another contract because Patrick Mahomes is that damn good. Is there a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes?
Not that I can think of right now.
You're an Eagles fan. Tell me you wouldn't give one of your kidneys from.
I absolutely would. Absolutely would. He's that guy.
He's that guy. Lamar. Is Russell Wilson better than Lamar Jackson, or is Lamar Jackson better than Russell Wilson?
I'd have to take Russell Wilson.
Really?
Yes.
Guys and girls, hear this.
I'd have to take Russell.
Listen to this one. A few years back, we're talking about one black quarterback in the league, right? Mike Vick gets a big contract. They're not quarterbacks, right? It doesn't matter. You could say they're not quarterbacks because they don't use their arm. They're not quarterbacks because there's not many of them. It doesn't matter. They're just not quarterbacks. Now, look at the upper echelon of football. Look at the upper echelon. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, incoming Jordan Love to replace the baddest man on earth, Aaron Rodgers. Bro, it's a new wave. It's a new time. There's new systems. Kyler Murray. Let me not forget Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's my guy. We're both the same height, 4'8". So guys and girls, if this is not the type of football you want to watch, I would suggest not watching football. It's really that simple. You don't want to watch dual threat quarterbacks do what dual threat guys do? I suggest turning on Dancing with the Stars, maybe. You can watch the old school guys relive their glory with beautiful women. I suggest watching reruns on YouTube of the Pocket Passers, and maybe we can go from there. But this is where it is. This is where it's going. So strap in, because offenses are going to keep getting more explosive and more dynamic. So we end there because I want to continue on. Oh, and by the way, Cam Newton by Sean Walsh.
Yeah, we forgot about Cam Newton.
Because he's hurt, so we haven't seen him, but he's there.
He's looking good,
bro.
He's looking good.
How do you think he's going to do with the Patriots?
He's on a mission. This is a prove it season. He's going to do well.
Yeah,
he's going to kill it.
Super Bowl for the Patriots?
I wouldn't say that, but he's going to have a good season. This is a comeback season for him.
I made a great bet. I really have to be the new wave of Nostradamus. I'll tell you why. Not only because I'm extremely handsome and I can tell you what's going to happen next, but here's really why. Because I made a bet with a buddy of mine, Sean Darcy. I did a Zoom. The pandemic hit. I'm online. Got a bunch of guys on. We're talking about this. Tom Brady leaves, and the bet is this: in the next 5 years, will the Patriots win a Super Bowl, another Super Bowl, right, without Tom Brady? Steak dinner. Any steak dinner. I'm talking Wolfgang Puck, right? Okay? If they allow us indoor seating. So, Sean, this may benefit you because if the pandemic, we're going to have to do pickup. But they get Cam Newton. Bro, joke's on you. No more Jarrett Stidham. I got Cam Newton with Bill Belichick. Let's go steak dinner, baby. So I'm glad you said that because Cam, remember in 2015 he won the MVP. That guy was a beast.
He was.
He just got to stop dressing like a grandmother. Bro, am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Little crazy.
Bro,
crazy with the dress.
There's no way you're walking out with a skirt, a blouse, and a bonnet.
Scarf and a bonnet? Yeah, no.
There's no way.
No way.
No way. Dude, I mean, Cam Newton could pull it off because he's got that skin complexion. He's like that light mixed black guy, you know what I mean? So he pulls it off real well because he's like mocha. But, like, is he trying to tell us something? Like, is he transitioning? Is this what's happening right now? I don't know what's happening, guys. I'm lost with Cam Newton, but I'll tell you what, he's going to win a Super Bowl. So it don't matter because Bill Belichick is the mastermind. And you know what he says? Cam, I see you out there with your bonnet and your scarf and your blouse, and you're just messing with everybody. You're really still Superman. So I'm going to pick you up for peanuts. You're going to win me a Super Bowl. Then you're going to sign a multi-million-dollar deal somewhere else. They're not going to get the same quarterback that I get. And I'm going to win a Super Bowl. It's the mastermind behind it all. So I agree with you. Cam Newton is a man on a mission. He said he's coming for their necks.
Yes, he did.
Bro, he's a savage.
Yes, he is.
Savage. Guys and girls, listen. You're here on Hamilton Radio. You're listening to My Sports Radio. You're listening with John Antel. I have my co-host, James Brown Jr. We are diving in. We're moving through things quick because I want to get to the real matter at hand. So I'm going to move on to Mike Trout and baseball. Baseball's back, I think. And
maybe.
Mike Trout says he doesn't know if he's playing this year. He signs a $430 million contract, right, in the offseason to be the face of the Angels. A lineup that looks pretty formidable. Shohei Ohtani, Upton, Pujols in the tail end, but still. They get Rendon. They have Simmons. It looks like a great, great team. My question is this. Is baseball without the best player?
No. Can't be.
It's not.
Can't be.
I didn't think so either. There's no way. Guys, are you watching a game in which the Angels play the Yankees and Mike Trout's not playing? Are you watching a game, unless you're a Yankee fan, are you watching a game where the Angels play the Pirates and Mike Trout's not playing? Who plays on the Pirates? Are the Pirates a team right now? Are they even a team anymore? And you want me to watch that game? Come on, guys. Something has to happen here. Something's got to give. You can't have these high-profile guys not playing And you know what their worry is, bro? Here's their worry. Here's the kicker. This is where baseball dropped. I don't want to say the soap. They dropped the ball on this one. They dropped the ball on this one, guys. This is where they dropped the ball. They do testing. They don't get the testing back within a 24-hour period. So the players can practice, but what if someone's got COVID?
Everyone is exposed, just like that.
Bro, how do you run a multi-billion-dollar organization, but you can't get a COVID test, which you have your own labs that test for steroids, right, and PEDs, and you can't get testing back within 24 hours? Bro, there's an issue with this. I don't know if it's a money issue. I don't know if it's the owners playing games or the players playing games, dude, but let me tell you, you lobbied back and forth arguing about your billions of dollars while people starve. You argue back and forth about your billions of dollars while 36 million Americans were laid off because of COVID. And now I got to deal with this crap. Now I got to deal with this. This is like white dog crap in my belly. I got to deal with this? Bro, it's not right. It's not right. And that's how I feel about Mike Trout. And that's how I feel about that segment. It's done. So, James, strap in, bro, because here it comes.
Let's go.
Here it comes. Guys and girls, our country is at a crossroads right now. Our country is at a crossroads, and it's at a tipping point. And here's what it is. If you say nothing, you're racist. If you say something, but it doesn't follow the narrative to what somebody else in front of you, either way, has in mind, you're racist. If you say something, by the way, you don't know what you're talking about. So here we are today, July 8th. I have a good friend next to me, a black guy, and he's sitting here next to a Jew. Everybody knows I don't talk politics, I don't talk religion. Last night, James, something happened, and it hit me hard. And you and I, we've had emotional conversations together. We've had long conversations. We've had tough conversations. We come out of those conversations with a hug and I love you, knowing that what makes this place what it is the ability to say what we want to say, but to understand each other. Guys, last night I'm talking in a sports room, okay? Number one rule, don't talk about politics or religion in any room. My room, any room we go into, right? Causes conflict.
Right.
Anywhere you go. Deshaun Jackson comes out with a tweet. It was a passage from Hitler, and it was condemning Jews. And he said, once again, he was trying to lift up his people, whatever the case may be, right? A media outlet, a guy from the media, says to, he writes on his page and says, at 33 years old, you should have the wherewithal to know, just never quote Hitler, right?
Right.
Okay. He compared it, a guy compared it to the Riley Cooper situation, where Riley Cooper was at a country music concert in 2013 when he was relevant for the Eagles for 1 year and dropped an N-bomb, didn't know somebody was recording, which, by the way, bro, is that not absurd? You're an athlete and you don't think somebody's recording you? You must be the dumbest guy on earth. Okay. That's a white guy, by the way. He's an idiot. Stupid ass. I digress with him. So he goes, he gets his extension, and then after the extension comes out, the video surfaces. Right?
Right.
1 year later, he's out of the NFL, blacklisted, gone. You never heard Riley Cooper again.
That's correct.
Okay. Guys, here's the double standard, and we're going to get into this right now. There's a movement in America, and by the way, that's what makes this country so great. That we can do what we want to do and we can say what we want to say because that's been provided to us in our constitutional rights, written by people who fought to start a land and give us these constitutional rights and continue to do so right now, today, everywhere. Okay? Our government is not here to take that away. Our government is to listen to us. That's what a government does, people. We elect them to uphold those constitutional rights. That's what that is. Okay? Freedom of speech is one of them. But here's where we are today in 2020, James Brown. Here's where we are, bro. Somebody says something in 1980, he's a racist today. If somebody says something in 2014 and he's a white guy, the black guy shouldn't get bad treatment today. If a black guy said something 5 years ago and was a racist now and a white guy said it, should the white guy not get condemned today? Of course he should. Of course he should. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Before I have James give us a little backstory about him so you can know where both of us come from before this carries on. Because it's important you know who we are. It's very important. And more people should get to know who their brother and sister are before they say dumb shit. You can mute that, Ruben, if you need to on the radio. Love you. But this is what it is. Guys and girls, right now in 2020, we have an opportunity. We can hit the reset button on matters that are important to us. We can hit the reset button and make sure that we hold each other accountable for the things we say. We can now look across the table and we can say to somebody else, bro, your sentiment is not right. You're a white guy. You're a black guy. You're a Hispanic guy. You're an Asian guy. I'm leaving out a lot of ethnicities, but I don't have the time or the day or the inclination to go through all of them. You damn right I'm talking about all of us, okay? And say what you just said is not right. And educate them. And help them understand why it's not right. Guys, let me tell you. Sports is not the platform for race, for politics, or for religion. It's not. The reason why is because fanatics watch sports. Fans, that word is the root of fanatics. You know what fanatics do? Fanatics go crazy. Fanatics do irrational things. Like bomb things. Like shoot things. Like stab things. That's what fanatics do. So when you're in Oakland at a baseball game and someone gets stabbed out in the parking lot, that's not a fan. You're not rooting for your team. You're a fanatic. You're the people we're trying to get rid of. So I'm in a sports room and there was another guy who says Deshaun Jackson's comments were subjective. James, you're one of the most educated guys I know. Has there ever been a time where someone's quoted Hitler around you where you felt that was subjective?
For me, myself, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing anything like that because when you think of the name, it's immediately negative. So why would you even utilize anything from someone who's looked at in a negative light and has done what he has done? Why would you do that? Especially when you have a platform as large as you do, and you're going to touch many people. I mean, it's not like you or I who may post something on social media and we have our 1,000 people that are on our page. He has millions. So this is going to millions of people, and they see this.
Guys and girls, the guy I'm sitting next to right now, I have witnessed myself this guy get targeted. I've witnessed it myself. Do you hate all cops?
No,
Okay. But you've been unjustly targeted.
I have many times.
And I've witnessed an incident. But guys and girls, this is a man who's been and seen and gone through more hard times than our younger generation can fathom or understand. He didn't grow up in a nice area. But yet the times that he went through and the education he got, he was able to take that and utilize it in a way that made him the man today. And by the way, it enables him to look at the rest of the world in the light at which he does. James, you tell me stories all the time, right? And you share with me personal stories. Before I get into my personal stories, you share with me a lot of things, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it because it makes me a better man. It makes me a better dad. It makes me a better human. It makes me a better friend, better husband. And it helps me understand maybe things that I don't know, that I haven't dealt with, right? This guy grew up in an area, and you told me a story about how white people or black people will look at white people in certain areas. And I said a comment to him, and I said, bro, the reason why I don't have so many black friends is because I don't live in a black area, right? It's common sense. If you're not in an area, so then I looked at James and I said to James, that's probably why you have predominantly more black friends than white friends. And James, do me a favor. I just want you to tell the story from you to everybody, the answer you gave me back to that.
Yeah, so growing up, it wasn't, the area that I grew up in or moved into was I moved from an area where was white kids, and I grew up around them, and then I moved to another area where there was more blacks and whites, and I was looked at differently. I don't know if it was because of the way I spoke, or that my parents were both they both had great jobs and great careers, and I had some of the things that they might not have had, so it wasn't really 100% accepted in that group either. So what it taught me to do was to look at the person, not the color, not the race, not the background, to really look at the person and be friends with a person because of who they are and what they bring to the table and how they make me feel as a person. So I have friends of all races, and I can't say I have more black friends than white friends because I don't. So growing up, that taught me to look at the person and what they bring to the table, how they enhance my life, and how I can do the same for them. And I have to say that the friends that I grew up with, I'm still friends with today because they're real. And it's hard to find people out there that are real and that really truly care about you and really want to understand the person you are. It's really hard to do that. So to answer your question, John, it's not the area. It's not always the area. There's other circumstances involved in this.
It's incredible to hear somebody say, a black guy say he grew up in a black area, but yet his own kind, we're going to put quotes on that because whatever the hell that means, looked at him differently just because of the way he was raised. Because his dad wanted him to be well represented. His dad wanted him to go to church looking a certain way. Or his dad had a good job and he had both parents. It's incredible to hear that. And
then part of that is my dad worked hard, and no one really saw that. There was weeks at a time when I didn't see him. He'd go to work, he'd come home, go to sleep, 3 hours later back to work. And he did that to make sure that I was taken care of, to make sure that I had a good upbringing, to make sure that I'm in the position that I'm in today. So I guess I was disliked for that at the time, but he was just doing what he had to do as a father, and I'm thankful for that.
When you first, I sent you, when everything started happening, the protests, everything like that, I sent you an emotional text. And this is how crazy everything will make people. I thought that there was a chance that somebody I loved and cared about of a different race would look at me differently based on other people on TV saying different. And I sent James an emotional text just letting him know, almost validating myself. Like, you know who I am. I've been here for years, bro. I love you. I got your back. But the interesting part of all this, and once again, this is just education I get from you, even today, guys and girls, what makes you better, what makes us great, is we are blessed, absolutely blessed, to be in a place with different people. It is a blessing. When I have somebody sitting next to me that's different than I am, it makes me better. Why does it make me better? Because I learn new cultural interests, passions, food, drinks, music, religion, history, upbringing. It makes you a better person. The strongest person, the best people in this world surround themselves with all different types of people and listen to those people. What we have going on right now in every room, what we have going on right now is people generalizing each other. That's what we have going on right now. They're saying you are a specific person if you don't agree with me and you're not the same complexion. But I have a message for you. And I know James shares the same sentiment as we continue this. If you don't share our sentiment, you're wrong. How about that? How about every single protest out there that, by the way, should be for good, right?
Right.
Freedom of speech, protests, those are good. Some of the greatest things in history happened after protests, right? They should be good. You take away from it when you decide to spit your racist rhetoric, and I'm not talking whites, I'm not talking blacks, I'm talking everybody. It's time for some accountability. If you're in a sports room and you say something dumb like Deshaun Jackson's direct quote from a Hitler passage is not racist, it's subjective, then how can you be mad when someone wears a Trump hat? How? How can you be mad when someone else speaks their mind? Because all they have to do is look at you and say it's subjective. You can't talk out both sides of your mouth and for someone to take you serious. Because when you get two good people in front of you, James and myself, we know you're a joke. And we see right through your ass. So don't look at someone in the eye and pretend like you're some sort of real person. Guys, long before people were chanting BLM or America with a flag, we were dealing with real life stuff. Way before you guys decided to go out in the street with your panties in a bunch. And now you want the Redskins to change, and the Chiefs to change, and the Indians to change, and the Yankees to change, and the Giants to change. Because you're insecure about yourself. Why don't you get a friend? Why don't you sit down with someone and talk to them? Stop being scared of your own shadow. Don't come out of the woodwork now because you could wear a mask. I'm tired of seeing these, man. James, it's exhausting, bro. It's exhausting seeing All these people hate each other, but not even know what they're talking about. We just talked about this today. People of the same race saying completely different things, talking about the same topic. How can you talk that you're going in the same direction when you don't even know what you're talking about? So here it is. Here I am. And I don't talk religion, so here you go. You're ready for it? You can hate me after. I'm a Jew. I'm not the most religious. I really, truly, I'm proud to be who I am. I celebrate what I do because it means the world to my grandmother. And she means the world to me. My parents got divorced when I was very young. My mom moved us to Jersey. She remarried, moved us to Jersey, and put me in a public school system where, yes, it was mixed. And I was blessed for that. And I learned everything. Guys, I'm the oldest of 9 kids. My aunt's half black. My mom has adopted Spanish children. My last name was asked by me to my aunt, my great aunt, on her deathbed. Let me tell you something, people. I am well versed in racism. I'm the only one here who has seen a slave. The only one. James has paved his own path in life as a good man and made his own wealth based on him busting his ass. Not because he was handed something or because he was oppressed. Guys, my great-grandmother was in a concentration camp. She was supposed to be killed. It was a foregone conclusion. She buried 2 kids and buried one after that when she was here. My uncle, my great uncle, my grandmother's brother, had 3 beautiful daughters. Didn't have anybody to pass the name down to. I took it. I asked for it. From my aunt on her deathbed. This is real shit. This is not the pretend stuff that you march in the street or you say something on behind your little keyboard that James and I talk about. You're a keyboard warrior. Don't read a testament in a Bible or a verse or a passage and think you're knowledgeable. Read your history book. Talk to a black man or a Jew. You're the best. Thank you. You could see I'm getting fired up. Love you. The Wizard of Oz behind the curtains. Let me tell you something. For me, guys, everyone's chanting in the streets right now. Everyone's got their fists up. They're chanting in the streets. This life matters. This life matters. This life matters. I don't see any of my people chanting in streets. I know why. But nobody wants to talk about that. So then you force people, our athletes, our stars, on the media, they shame people into telling us that we have to follow what you say or we're racist. No, you're racist. You're racist because you don't know who I am. You're racist because you don't know who James is. And there's no reason for people like the 2 of us to have to hide our opinion because we know we'll get killed. Probably literally. I am proud. I am proud to be who I am. I'm proud to sit next to James and to say I love you and you're a brother. I'm proud. I don't meet a quota with black friends. Everyone uses that cliche. Well, I have black friends. I'm not racist.
One.
Right? One. Guys, there's no quota filling here. You don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear this. Then I got to have someone, one of the athletes that I love, stuff it down my throat. Deshaun Jackson, Steven Jackson, Marquise Goodwin. Stop with your bullshit double standards. Stop it. You want people to take you serious, bro? Then take everybody else serious. You want people to love you? You want people to appreciate African American men and women in this country as we should? Then appreciate everybody else. Don't build somebody up to tear somebody down. I got to turn on ESPN and listen to this crap. Let me tell you something, man. Hitler killed 6 million Jews. And I got to listen to somebody tell me this passage is subjective? You compare it to Riley Cooper, some dumb redneck dropping the N-bomb? That's what you compare this to? He spewed hate out of his mouth. Where's Riley Cooper now, guys? Where?
On his couch.
On his couch. Because he's a bum and he's a dirtbag. A guy killed 6 million people and you say it's subjective? I'm done, man. I'm done with it all. I'm done conforming and telling people that, oh, it's okay. No, you're not right. You're wrong. I build up what I have like James did from his dad. He worked hard. A black man wanted the American dream. And by God, he got it. A business owner, a small business owner, successful, has multiple houses, nice cars, nice things, good people around him. And I'm supposed to be ashamed of my heritage? Because you don't have the accountability and the wherewithal to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I messed up. No, bro. Look in the mirror. Look at it. Because you don't even like yourself. And you use a movement to hide behind shamefully when you don't talk about the real things in America. James said it best earlier. Dude, you said it in the car. What's going on behind the scenes that nobody wants to see?
Right. That there's many things happening that we don't see on a daily basis. And we're so focused on this over here. And while we're focused on this over here, there's this stuff happening over there. So we got to open our eyes. That's for sure.
Guys and girls, take out names. Take out slogans and catchy slogans and catchphrases and cliches. Take them out. I'm done with, if you don't stand for this, then blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. This life matters. All your hashtags. TikTok influencers have more pull in this country than guys like you and I who should. Someone stands in the camera and makes a funny video and gets 4 million followers. Next thing you know, they're certified, they're millionaires, and then they say, this person's a racist. And what happens? They're in an effing commercial. Bro, does this not piss you off?
Pisses me off. Definitely does. Where's the education? Where's the to know about the different things that are out there? Where's the research? People often make opinions without research.
Bro, you said something. I don't want to repeat it because you said it best, so I want you to say it. We have statues up. We have history books for a reason, right? And you said, and what was that reason in your opinion?
We learn from history, the good and the bad. Of course, you want to continue to go with the good, but the bad, when you look at the bad, it prevents you from going back and doing the same thing over again. If we don't have that to look back on, we forget and we do the same thing again. So why do it? Now, do I think those statues should have been pulled down or any of that stuff? Maybe they belong in a museum somewhere. But I don't think they should have been destroyed or should be destroyed. It's history. It happened a long time ago. We have to focus on what's going on now. And there's a lot of things that we can do to change what's going on now if we just pay attention and learn from each other, listen and understand.
Guys, you know what this is? You know what this is, what he just said? This is called common sense. Not what you said, Steven Jackson. No, my friend. This is common sense. That is education. If there's no history in this world to go back and look at, we're not going to know what happened. You know what happens when we forget? It happens again. That's what happens. This is the same country that stood together after 9/11. Same country that stood side by side and said, oh, hell no, I'm an American. 5,000 people died. Vin is listening right now. One of his best friends, Steve, lost his uncle in the World Trade Center. Forgotten. Our history books conveniently leave things out. No one hides slavery. Nobody does. It was an important part of history. It was important because a lot of those slaves built the towns that people lived in. Built it with their hands, with their own sweat and blood, and deserved homage and deserve to be remembered for who they are and what they did. So if you not know what you speak of, shut your mouth and know your role, jabroni, as the great Rock said. Because I'm telling you right now, if you look across at somebody who's different than you and you took 1 minute out of your day, out of your very busy day, by the way, spending your stimulus check on TVs, you would sit down with someone that you would probably love and probably really, really understand where they came from and want to know and have it change your life for the better. That's what I do. That's what James does. James is a successful businessman still to this day, and in his line of work, I mean, dude, I don't think there's one walk of life you don't see.
See all walks. You have to.
You have to. And bro, can I tell you, newsflash, in every walks of life, there's trash people. You're not exempt. You're not. In every walk of life, there's trash. With all these hashtags, you know what these hashtags forget? Hashtag good people. How about that? That's who gets lost in the mix. The two guys sitting at this table right now get lost in the mix. Because we're put on a bulletin board because of our skin color or race or ethnicity and told we have to do something. I don't want to leave his side. I'd rather stand by his side than stand by yours. I know who he is. I don't know what I'm getting for you. I don't know what I'm getting from that. But I know who this guy is. And I know he's got my 6.
100%.
So you want me to stand next to your side just because you tell me I have to? No. And by the way, all my favorite sport athletes, listen, LeBron James, I give kudos to LeBron James on a daily basis. LeBron James, by himself, revitalizes communities. He gives back to rural schools in urban areas. He helps them. He helps black kids that need help. Right now, that need help. Talk about real shit. That need help right now. And we hear none of it. And you want to be mad about something? Get mad about something that matters. Don't tell me, LeBron, I need to feel a certain way about myself. You're a great businessman. For all intents and purposes, you're a good man. You're a family man. You do right by others. We see it every day. You help guys get contract extensions. Bro, that means a lot for people. It means a lot to me. I know that he's willing to bring his brethren with him. He don't look out for himself. Like that dumb idiot Kyrie Irving does. So you give LeBron James kudos. But I'll tell you right now, LeBron, you better stop the buck before you say something you know nothing of. Because you don't know slaves, LeBron. So don't talk about it like you know one. But talk about history. Talk about slavery. Talk about underprivileged kids. Help us get better. Help us remember. Help us be better humans. I'm all in, LeBron. I'm with you, bro. I'll stand by your side. I will. And I'm not standing by your side because you're a black guy. I'm standing by your side because you're a good guy. Don't get it twisted, bro. Your color means nothing to me. What you have inside your chest and your mind, that's power. That means everything to me. This guy's skin tone, give a shit about his skin tone. Think I care what he looks like? Other than the fact you're 6'4", 240 and you're like a statue, which pisses me off because I'm, skinny and withering away. Okay, so we'll get past that. But you think I care about that? It's a good guy. He proved that to me day one. Day one. When I came in hesitant, I was embarrassed. I'm open with him. I said, dude, I saw this guy. He's a big black guy. I'm this tiny white Jew. I work for him. He's my boss. I should have been nervous. I was nervous. I said, he's never going to help me. He looked at me, asked me to go into the office, and said, in a nutshell, you work hard, you do right by me, I'm going to get you promoted. And he got me promoted. Why he got me promoted? That didn't help further his career because he got a white Jew promoted. Did a district manager call you up and say, great job with John, you got a promotion?
Yeah, do you know about the money I got for that?
I didn't know. Wait, you said you were going to split that with me.
Yeah.
No, you know what it got him? It got him passed up for other promotions. Too many times. 3, 4, 5 interviews. It's a joke. So this hardworking guy here who does right by others is passed up? And we don't get into jobs. We don't get into none of that, dude. We don't call people out. It's bad for business. But there are businesses out there that need to do better. They need to do better. They need to do better. Our athletes. Dude, I'm not telling you to shut up and dribble a basketball. I'm not ignorant. I'm telling you to keep the two separate. That's what I'm asking you. And if you're not going to keep it separate, then know everything about it. That's all I ask. Nothing more, nothing less. Everyone's people, especially at this table, share a lineage that is disastrous. Millions. Hear that number. Close your eyes and picture it. Millions of people killed between two of us. I don't cry about it. I've never heard you say you expect something from somebody, James.
Not unless I work for it. You got to work hard, and you get what you want.
So he doesn't beg and ask. I don't beg and ask. Because when he's given something for free, unless he wins it, that don't feel right to him. Because he's a grinder. When I'm giving something for free, and dude, I'll even go to my wife buying me a gift. I'm so awkward, I don't even like things given to me. I had a member in my sports room send me a package. It had a few cards in it. He said he put something in there for me. The package sat there for 6 weeks because I didn't know how to respond to him and thank him. 6 weeks. I'm awkward when it comes to free stuff, dude.
Me too.
But I can tell you right now that we need to do better. Everybody needs to get somebody by their side that they can trust. And don't be vanilla. Don't be chocolate. Get the same flavors. Don't do it. Talk to somebody else. Ask them their opinion. And when you get their opinion, let them know very kindly that you appreciate and respect their opinion. Will they be willing to listen to yours? And say it in a way that's respectful. Don't be ignorant. And don't jam something down somebody's throat. Be kind. Because I'll tell you what, people talk about agendas now, bro. We hear that word a lot, right? Right, left, whatever. Right. Everyone's got an agenda. Bro, tell you something. Everybody, no matter your political views, has an agenda. Let me tell you something about our country. Civil war happens, right? We're killing ourselves, right?
Right.
Okay. You have people in the South who are fighting for the dream of America and slaves, right? You have people in the North who are fighting for independence and progression. Guys, it's 2020. Nobody has a rifle with a bayonet anymore. Nobody's standing across from the other person and screaming, "Reload!" hoping to get another pellet off. Please wake up. Please. Color doesn't make you evil. Where you stand on social issues doesn't make you evil. What does make you evil is when people know or figure out why you're saying things. When they figure out your agenda. When they tell you what you can and cannot stand for. I will never in my life ever tell you or anybody else it is that the way you should feel or how you should think. Matter of fact, I'll say this. Not only will I not tell him, I'll ask him how he feels so I can be better. And if I don't agree with it, which there's been many of topics we've disagreed on.
Oh, yeah.
Many. We will tell each other, bro, that ain't going to happen. Same guy who's been targeted. I've seen it. Same guy who looks completely opposite of me. Different background. Different upbringing. Same heart. Same mind. Same education. Because that's what we wanted. So here we are, July 8th, 2020, talking about the same thing we talked about when Rosa Parks was fighting in the front of a bus for her own seat. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to even have this that I have to have this conversation. I'm embarrassed that I have to be embarrassed that I have to tell people I'm a Jew and be viewed differently. or that it's socially incorrect to have friends of another color. Everybody. My grandmother is the last of the Mohicans when it comes to a history of people who died in the Holocaust. Her mother was a slave. My grandmother tells me nothing but love. Nothing. She never tells me one time to hate a German. She never tells me one time to hate anybody black. She never tells me one time to hate somebody who's different. You want to know why? Because the last time people said shit like that, people got murdered. That's why. So when I took my last name, I knew what I was doing. And I was blessed. And guys and girls, since having my daughter, I'm probably a much more emotional person than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm a wreck, right?
Yes, you are.
I'm a disaster.
Yes.
Is it bad or is it good?
I guess it's good.
It's good?
It's good.
All right. But there's many of times where I'm emotional thinking about that last conversation I had with my great aunt before she passed. On her deathbed, one of the last things she said, I wanted her to meet my eventual wife, and she never had an opportunity to, and it meant a lot to me. And she says, my one regret in life is that I never had a son to pass the last name on, because my uncle's family died in the Holocaust. All descendants, everybody. And I'm emotional, right? And I said it would be an honor if I could take his last name. We cried. She said it would be amazing. And she passed days after. Days, okay? She was supposed to meet my wife the next Wednesday and died before that. It was like she was supposed to hear that. I get this name change. I was not always a great person. I was not. And anybody who thinks that they've been great their whole life, you're a liar. And you have no accountability. I couldn't get my head out of my own ass until I was 29, 30. I would think things that I shouldn't think. Stereotype people I shouldn't stereotype. Because I didn't want to look in the mirror and educate myself on hard topics. So I was an educated guy that was scared. That's what that is. People are scared.
I agree with that.
First thing someone does when they get caught, first thing that person does is what?
Lie.
And yell.
And yell.
Right? Lie and yell. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you catch your kid doing something, no, I didn't do that, you're crazy. Right?
Right.
Throws a temper tantrum.
Yep.
Because they don't want to believe that it could have been them. They don't want people to know they got caught. They don't want people to know that they could be bad or did something bad.
No, it's how dare you think that it was bad.
How dare you think? Correct. Guys, I was not always perfect. I am the best version of myself now. If someone out there thinks that I was handed anything, you're a joke. I literally was told, sat down with a medical expert and told my wife and I couldn't have kids without modern medicine. My wife cried. I didn't cry, in front of her at least. What did I do? I picked up the pieces. And I did what good people do. They step up. and I started my business. I started a memorabilia business to have a kid. And it worked. I work 16 hours a day. 16. For those of you who are not mathematically inclined, there's only 8 hours left in the rest of it. And I'm supposed to have a marriage. Went to marriage counseling to keep my marriage together because of all the work I was doing just to have a kid. The shots, the hospital visits, the bills. And I'm handed something because the color of my skin or because I'm a Jew. I'm handed something now. You know not what you speak. And it's a disgrace to this beautiful country we live in for anybody, for white people to classify or stereotype all black people. It's a sin. It's a joke for Deshaun Jackson to come out and say Jews are the reason for their oppression and use a quote from Hitler. If a white guy said that about the black race, right now, James, what would happen to, come on, bro?
Fired.
Off with his head. You know it. Colin Kaepernick signs partnerships with Disney World to talk about his past life, his upbringing, right? Drew Brees says he had family who fought for the flag and got killed by not even the opposite race, just a movement, not the opposite race.
But that's because he didn't educate himself on the reason why it was happening.
Education.
Let's talk about it.
Talk about it.
You know, when he said what he said, he wasn't thinking about the real reason that the kneeling happened in the first place. It had nothing to do with the military at all. Had to do with drawing attention to the subject that we're dealing with right now. And I feel that if he had talked to his teammates to kind of get an understanding of what they felt, because he has a lot of black teammates,
Absolutely.
they probably could have educated him. He would understand why it's happening. Because you got to remember, those black teammates may have someone who was in the Army the same time his family was doing the same thing that they were doing. So it had nothing to do with that. So had he had talked to his people, his teammates before that, he might not have said that.
Oh, so you're telling me that if he educated himself, it would have been different? Oh,
Would have been different.
wow.
Would have been different.
You're telling me if he educated... Gosh, it's incredible what education does for you. It's incredible what asking and listening does for you. Wow. Mind-boggling how it works. I don't...
It's an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
Why are you doing what you're doing?
It's...
Some people don't want to have that conversation.
You know who doesn't want to have that conversation? Scared people. You know who doesn't want to have that conversation? People who live in a glass house. Who don't understand that there are important issues at hand with important people's lives at risk. That's who doesn't want to talk about this. So here we are once again, July 8th, 2020. Two guys, regular guys, that just like to work, take care of their families, buy the stuff they want to buy paintball guns and go paintballing, and just do regular dude stuff. And we have to talk about morons not being educated before they say something. And here it is. Drew Brees gets killed because he doesn't have a conversation with teammates. Oh, Deshaun Jackson says something without having a conversation with other people? Oh, here we are again. I pride myself on thinking I surround myself with educated people. I know I have one here next to me. So how is it you have millions of dollars but can't do the same damn thing? What are your resources? What do your money get for you? There's no accountability in the sports world right now. You have a platform that can change lives. 40% of African American families right now in Chicago are starving. And you're talking about Jews? Shut your mouth and spend some money where it belongs. Because if I had your millions, I would be helping. The double standard is incredible. From every single race. Every race. No one is better than the next. Nobody is exempt. No athletes. Drew Brees needs to be better and educate himself. Deshaun Jackson needs to be better and educate himself. Steven Jackson, who leads the protests. You want to be a leader, Steven Jackson? Don't talk empty words. Don't give me verses and scriptures and testaments from monks who wrote it in a cave. Give me real life history. My great grandmother was a slave. Talk to me about history. You know nothing. You could be the most educated man in the world with a Yale degree, a Harvard degree, and still be an idiot. We know a lot of them. We know a lot of professors that are popping up right now that are great minds, that are racist idiots. We see it across the country now, people being condemned for it, as they should. Because just because you go to a good school doesn't make you smart. Okay, so you know some books. Great, bro. Where's your experience? Where's your diversity? Where's your wherewithal for the world we live in now? Where at the click of a button you could reach 4 million people. I'm tired as crap. I'm tired of it. I'm exhausted, and I know you're tired of it. And we talk about it all the time, man. You observe. You're one of those guys, man. You're like,
sit in the corner and just watch everything.
Yeah.
That's me.
And then, like, you lay a bomb on somebody without them really knowing, like, what the hell even happened. But it's an educated one. Because he observes. He watches mannerisms. James knows there's bad black people. Like I know there's bad white people. We know that. We've seen it. Come on. Guys, we don't have to graduate from Harvard to know that. You can tell just on a conversation who's good and bad. You know what they're about. But let me tell you, what's embarrassing is the fact that in 2020, there's still good people who are not saying things that need to be said. And everyone thinks that there's leaders out there, but there's not. There's no leaders. There's nobody stepping up and seeing a guy next to him and grabbing a hold of him saying, I fucking love you, bro. Sorry for the F-bomb. Ruben again. Love you. You can mute it. Nobody does that. Safta, my grandmother, I'm very sorry for the F-bomb as well also. I know my grandmother's not going to like that one. She's going to critique me about that. Sorry. Love you. We represent one thing here. Guys and girls, we represent the names we live by. That's our heritage. That's it. We all came from the same place. Don't be stupid. What do you think? Millions of people showed up on Earth one day? Oh, here we are. We're all the same people. All of us are the same people. It just so happened to be that when our group or our clan or our people or our small community migrated somewhere else, that dictated your wealth, your positioning, your heritage, your race, your beliefs, your religion. That's what dictated it. And then people take it to a new level because they get greedy. And then they get a slave. And they make that slave make them money. Or they make that slave have them build their pyramids for them. If you're not educated, I'm talking about James and I. Read a book. If I right now shared with you a paragraph from Dylan Roof's manifesto, I would expect every black person in this world to want to crucify me. I would expect it. But you probably don't even know who Dylan Roof is. Because you don't care about history. You don't care about the bad people who transformed lives for worse forever. Forever. That's a double standard. So no, Deshaun Jackson, you can't sit on Twitter and say what you want when you don't know what you're saying. You can't use names like Hitler to say it. Sorry, bro. You can't. You're wrong. There's issues that need to be fixed. James has had run-in with cops. Bad ones. I witnessed one myself. With law enforcement personnel. The guy said it from the get. The guy said it from the get. He doesn't condemn all cops. He just knows there's some bad ones. And it needs to be fixed. And he's right. But he doesn't march around screaming names and saying, I hate this person. Why would he?
Wasted energy.
Wasted energy. Wasted energy, wasted time, wasted care, wasted love, where you can refocus it somewhere else. We don't have the time nor the inclination to deal with everyone's crap. Got enough of our own. He works night and day. I work night and day. I took a job 5 years ago to work with kids because it was a passion that I had. I'm gonna, guys, I'm an open book. I'm transparent with everybody, for everybody who knows me. I took a job 5 years ago that paid me $40,000 5 years ago to work with kids because it was something I believed in my heart I wanted to do. My grandmother said to me over a decade ago, never chase money. When you're great at something, money will chase you. So I took minimal money to do something I love. And 5 years later, it's the best decision I ever made. Guys, girls, be open. It's awkward, but have tough conversations. If I wasn't willing to have a tough conversation with James, I would have never had the family member that I have today. And shit, we have tough conversations on the daily.
Yes, we do.
Oh my God, it's like the war room. We go at it sometimes, man. The stuff we talk about right now, people get put in jail for in America. But we know at the end of every conversation, there was no hate. It was an opinion. And we do our best to figure out what's right and wrong.
Or revisit it later on when we figure it out.
Or revisit it later on when we have more research on it. Right. James, we went down a tough path today, bro. I'm mentally shot, emotionally shot. There's nobody in this world I'd rather listen to and share a platform other than you. I told you, you've talked about your upbringing with your dad and the town you were in. And I mean, I know so much more. I mean, dude, your life story it would take some time. It would take some time. And the trials and tribulations, we'd be here for a few hours. I'm exhausted. I know this. I know Patrick Mahomes signed a $500 million deal. I know Mike Trout doesn't want to play baseball, and baseball comes back, and he's the best player in baseball. And I know that our sports athletes need to keep politics, religion, and race out of sports. Unless you want to educate yourself and talk to everybody around you and be better people.
Or to bring value.
Or to bring value, which is very important. Not enough value. That's important. Or to bring value. So, anybody who listened to this today on Hamilton Radio, on my simulcast on Facebook, it may not be the stuff you like to talk about or like to hear. I don't care. I don't. The reason why I don't care is because this is real. This is not media. This is not social media telling you something else. These are two guys telling you their life. And we need to be better. And if you know who I am, you're going to continue to rock with me. And hopefully you can have a better appreciation of who I am. And if you don't like who I am, trust me, I don't care. You can kick rocks. I pride myself on having guys like this next to me, staying by my side. Men with integrity, with convictions and values and morals. That is what I have pride in. I've given back more than most do in 2 years in their lives. My platform for my sports memorabilia raised over $20,000 that could have went into my own pocket and gave it back to different foundations and fundraisers. All the way from the Wounded Warrior Project to Compete for Cancer to a young gentleman, Christopher Malecki, who was diagnosed with leukemia at 18 months and now had a relapse of it. To the Ali Cloud 9 Foundation, to 2 young kids who lost their dad who took their life because he was manic depressive. My ethnicity does not dictate what I am and who I am. The color of his skin does not dictate who he is and what he's made of. What's in our hearts and what's in our minds absolutely do. And what we do and say does dictate who we are. And that is it. You cannot tell me anything else. Because if you do, you're a racist. How about that? If you want to have a conversation, I love to learn. I love to meet new people. I love to be educated. I love to hear someone's story. I love it. Once again, that's how this man is sitting next to me. I love it. You know, it's like, dude, it's something about learning about people that aren't you that makes you feel like, I feel more accomplished when I have a conversation with you than I do with someone who looks like me. I don't know why. I just feel like it meant more. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
It's
Different perspectives. You look at things a different way. You know, which enlightens you. Makes you better.
No one should have to hide behind something or be scared of something. If you have a political view, You should be able to be proud. Don't scream at somebody else. Don't be obnoxious. Guys and girls, there has to be diversity. There has to be 2 political parties. Well, 3 if you count independents, but they don't really count because their votes are just lost every year. There has to be that. The reason why there has to be that is so we understand what rules and laws other people feel bad about or don't work, and we can fix it. Once again, the government works for us. Please don't get it twisted. I know it doesn't feel like that because we pay an enormous amount of taxes. I get it. I do. But that is our history. The government works for us to make sure the Constitution is upheld. Do your research. Don't tear down history. You want to put it in museums? Put it in museums. Don't forget about it. We need to remember slavery. We need to remember the Holocaust. We need to remember the mass shootings that took place, the mass killings that took place in places like Ireland, in Czechoslovakia. We need to remember what not to do again. We need to remember that Marxism and communism is not a positive. We live in a beautiful country that right now is ugly. And we got to figure out a way together to fix it. And the last thing I want to hear right now is a sports athlete tell me what the hell he's thinking about. Period. You don't add value, bro. You don't want to listen to me. Your opinion means nothing. If I can't talk to you without you screaming in my face, you mean nothing. Do you feel this that we're going to get better from this?
It's going to take a lot more than this. A lot of conversations, uncomfortable conversations, the conversations that you don't want to have, and then reflection and understanding. And then that's when the solutions come. But when no one's listening, we'll be having the same conversation 20 years from now. And that's the way I feel about it.
It's tough to just hear that, man. I share the same opinion. It's just tough to hear. You know? Sucks. It sucks that it takes a tragedy like 9/11 to bring a country together. It's terrible. All of a sudden we're attacked. Once again, we point the finger at one group of people and we generalize the entire race, right? Everyone's the worst. And we're all together. We're all standing together. Why? Because 5,000 people died in a city you're familiar with? It's terrible. Things like that will bring us together.
People need to think about the people who are around them and the people they care about. And if those same situations happen to someone you care about, how would you feel about it? That's the only way it's going to make sense in someone's mind, is to see it and understand it with someone that's in their circle and someone that they care about. As simple as that. If you think that way, you'll get it.
We need to have TV shows, networks. We need to have radio shows that are specifically designed for all different ethnicities to call and tell their story, so we can all listen to them. That's what we need. We need an area. We need a centralized area, a general area to let us go not for whatever you want us to know, but to listen to what people have been through, to refocus your attention onto the things that matter. So the snakes in the grass right now in our country don't come out of the woodwork when we don't want them to, for the wrong reason, which is happening right now. And it's a scary proposition. It's scary when TikTok influencers have more pull than guys like you and I who have been through things. It's scary. I'm ashamed of it. And hopefully one day soon we can figure it out. God willing, one day soon we can figure it out. It's tough, brother. It's tough.
Who said it was going to be easy?
And if it was, do we even want it?
I don't.
I don't either. It's not who we are. I'd rather take the tough road. The journey is what it's all about. It makes us better at the end. They're going to put this in the history books, you know? If there's history books. And I'm going to teach my daughter, you know, you'll come over, she'll see Uncle James, and you'll probably make some sort of snarky joke about how, you know, Dad was a white Jew and he was supposed to be a bad guy, but he's not. And I'll laugh. And I'll teach my daughter right and wrong. And you'll help. And that's what life is. That's what life is. Life is educating. It's love. I'm no hippie. I don't smoke weed. Sorry for the weed smokers out there. I don't even think it's illegal anymore, but I think it's legal in like every state now. Is it just California or is it every state? I know it's Colorado, right? But it's got to be every state at this point. Do people even care when you do? I mean, come on. Seriously, let's get over this. Like when athletes do, it's a joke that they get suspended.
It's ridiculous.
I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I don't care. Dude, guy wants to smoke some ganja, bro? Let him kill it. You know? Whatever. But, you know, the bigger point is we just need to see what's going on and just be better later on down the road. That's all. My brain's fried. Dude, last night when this came up in that sports room, dude, I was bro. You would have thought I could have split the Red Sea.
And that's why I didn't call you yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Like, let him figure it out. Let him process it. Think about it. Yeah.
See? Smart man. He knows I would have ranted. There's no stopping me, bro. Once I start going downhill, dude, it's bad news bears. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I get that from my mom. It is what it is. Guys and girls, thank you. We see a lot of comments here. Feel free to share this wherever your heart desires. The more people who see it, the better. Please remember what you heard today. Please remember what you see today. Please understand that no matter what people tell you out there, it doesn't have to be your mindset. It doesn't have to be your thought process. Be your own person. Have your own thoughts. Figure out the real knowledge, the real history, and run with it. And teach others. Sit down with others. It's early. But after a conversation like this, I don't want to talk about anything else. So I'm going to walk the hell off this stage 25 minutes early. Because if I talk about something else, that'll be the last thing people think about. So, James Brown Jr., I love you, kid. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being a mentor in so many ways. and for being family and a good friend and a good man. Thank you for joining me here today, and I hope everyone appreciates what they heard today and what they saw. And hopefully you and I can have, when you're on, we can have some better news and better vibes and stuff like that. So I love
Definitely.
you. I love you, kid.
Love you too, man.
Guys and girls, that's it. We're out of here. John Intel, Mystery Sports Reveal. You listen on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, simulcast. Get the app. Listen up. Educate yourself. Please come correct or don't come at all, because Mama said to knock you out, fool. James Brown Jr. next to me. We're out of here.
You're rocking with the newest radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a deal.